The lights of my house glowed warmly in the darkness as I pulled into the driveway. It had been a long, grueling business trip, and all I wanted was to hold Patricia, my wife, in my arms, for myself a stiff drink, and sleep for a week straight. Imagine my surprise when I found the front door unlocked. Patricia must have forgotten to bolt it, I thought, shaking my head with a smile. Little things like these made her all the more endearing to me. I opened the door quietly, hoping to surprise her. The house was silent, and the lights dimmed, indicating she was probably asleep. I walked to our bedroom, my heart filled with warmth and love. But as I pushed the door open, that warmth turned into a bitter cold. Patricia was in bed with Ethan, my best friend Ethan. The sight of them together was like a punch to the gut. My mind swelled, unable to comprehend the scene before me, but the sound of my sharp intake of breath jolted them awake. Patricia screamed, pulling the sheets around her, and Ethan jumped up, cursing. They looked at me with wide, terrified eyes. I felt my world crumble, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. My father's face flashed before me, a painful reminder of another betrayal. From years ago, this was the road I'd walked before, and I knew what I had to do. I didn't shout, didn't create a scene. Instead, I let out a chilling laugh. A surprise, indeed, I said, my voice icy. Get dressed, both of you. We'll talk about this later. I turned around and walked out, leaving them in their shock and guilt. As I went to the guest room, my mind began churning. This was a game of chess now, and I was a grand master at it over the next few weeks. I made sure to distance myself from Patricia and Ethan. I was still cordial with them, but I never let them see beyond my polite smiles and empty words. All the while, I gathered evidence of their affair, collecting emails, messages, pictures, anything that could serve my purpose. Ethan the fool was easy to manipulate. I knew his weaknesses well, greed and ambition, so I introduced him to a lucrative investment opportunity, a sure-shot way to multiply his wealth. The catch, it was a fraudulent scheme, but Ethan, blinded by the prospect of quick money, didn't see through it. Patricia, on the other hand, was battling her own demons. I could see the guilt eating at her, making her restless. She wanted to confess, but I played on her fears. If Ethan finds himself in any legal trouble because of this investment, I might be able to help him. I assured her, so she kept her secret and I kept mine. As Ethan's financial situation worsened, I stepped in as the benevolent friend, offering him a loan. The only condition he had to put up his shares in a tech company as collateral. He was hesitant, but the fear of going bankrupt pushed him to agree. Patricia finally confessed, her face pale. In her eyes full of tears, I put on a shocked expression. Pretending to forgive her, I convinced her that we should help Ethan out of this mess. She agreed, and with her own savings, bought the shares from Ethan at a throwaway price. Then the fraud was exposed. The investors were left penniless, Ethan among them. The legal implications of his involvement ensured he couldn't recover his financial standing. Patricia was left with nothing but the plummeting shares of the tech company. Finally, I revealed my knowledge of the affair. Patricia's face went ashen as I outlined my meticulous plan of revenge, how I had exploited their weaknesses and used their own sins against them. I'm filing for divorce, Patricia. I told her, my voice void of any emotion. But Martin, she stuttered. But I cut her off. No more lies. Patricia, no more deceit. You made your choices, and these are the consequences. The aftermath of my revenge was a hollow victory. I had won the game, but the taste of triumph was bitter. I looked at the ruins of my life, my marriage, my friendship, all tainted with betrayal and vengeance, and felt a pang of regret. As I sat in my now empty house, I contemplated the man I had become. I had allowed my heart to be poisoned by revenge, just like my father all those years ago. But I wasn't going to let this define me. I wasn't going to be a prisoner of my past. So I decided to start anew. I sold my house, my cars, everything that served as a reminder of my old life. I resigned from my successful law firm, leaving behind a career that had defined me for the longest time. But I wasn't afraid. I knew I could rebuild, make something better of myself. I moved to a different city, one where nobody knew me. My past, I used my wealth to set up a non-profit law firm, helping those who couldn't afford a good lawyer. It was my way of seeking redemption, of righting the wrongs I had done. As I worked tirelessly for my cause, I found a sense of peace that my revenge had never brought me. I realized that it wasn't vengeance that I had been seeking, but justice. Justice for a young boy who had been scarred by his father's infidelity, for a man who had been wronged by the ones he loved. And in that pursuit of justice, I finally found my purpose. Second story. My name is John, and up until recently, I had what seemed like the perfect life. I was a software engineer working at a reputable company, and I was married to Emily, the love of my life. We had a comfortable home, good friends, and everything seemed to be going well. Emily, a fitness enthusiast, dedicated a significant amount of time to her workouts. She frequently attended gym sessions with her personal trainer Mark. At first, I didn't think much of it. I encouraged her to pursue her passions to stay healthy and active. But as time went on, I began to notice subtle changes in her behavior. She became distant, spending more time away from home, and was unusually secretive about her activities. Small signs that might have gone unnoticed by others, but not by me. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something didn't feel right. I started to suspect that something was amiss, but I had no concrete evidence to support my suspicions. One day, while searching for something in Emily's car, I stumbled upon a folded piece of paper. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. It was a handwritten note from Mark, her personal trainer. The contents of the note suggested a romantic relationship between them. Shocked and heartbroken, I felt like the ground beneath me was crumbling away. I couldn't ignore this revelation. I needed to know the truth. So I made up my mind to gather evidence and confront Emily. I had to be sure before I confronted her. I couldn't simply accuse her without concrete proof. It was a painful decision, but I knew it was necessary to unveil the truth. I decided to take matters into my own hands and set up a hidden camera in Emily's car. It was a risk invading her privacy like that, but I couldn't bear the uncertainty any longer. I needed to see the truth with my own eyes. Late at night, while Emily was asleep, I carefully installed the hidden camera in her car. It was discreetly positioned, ensuring that it wouldn't be easily detected with a mix of anticipation and dread. I activated the camera and began the painstaking wait for the evidence I desperately sought. Days turned into weeks, and I lived in a constant state of anxiety, wondering if my suspicions were true. Every evening, I would retrieve the memory card from the camera, eagerly anticipating what it held. And finally, the moment of truth arrived. I sat in my dimly lit room, heart pounding in my chest, as I watched the recorded videos. My hands trembled as I fast-forwarded through mundane moments, hoping to find something that would confirm or deny my suspicions. And then there it was, a video that shattered my world. I watched in agony as the intimate moments between Emily and Mark unfolded before my eyes. The pain I felt was indescribable. It was as if a knife had been driven into my heart, twisting and turning with each betrayal captured on that screen. The person I loved and trusted had deceived me in the most profound way. The nights became sleepless, and the days turned into a fog of despair. I couldn't fathom how Emily could have done this to me. To our marriage, anger and betrayal coursed through my veins, fueling a burning desire to confront her and expose her infidelity to the world, fueled by a mixture of anger and betrayal. I couldn't keep the truth to myself any longer. The evidence I had gathered was too powerful to ignore. It was time for Emily to face the consequences of her actions. The opportunity presented itself when I learned that Emily was scheduled to give a crucial presentation at her workplace. It would be a high-pressure situation with her colleagues and superiors in attendance. I knew it was the perfect moment to confront her and reveal the evidence of her affair. As the day arrived, I mustered up every ounce of courage I had left. I walked into the building, my heart pounding with anticipation and nerves. The presentation had already begun when I discreetly made my way to the back of the room, ensuring I had a clear view of Emily. She stood confidently at the front, her voice steady, as she delivered her carefully prepared speech, but her facade of innocence was about to crumble. With sweaty palms and a voice trembling with emotion, I approached the front of the room, holding the evidence in my hands. As I stood beside Emily, the room fell silent, and all eyes turned towards us. "Emily," I said, my voice quivering with a mix of pain and anger. "I have something to show you all," I revealed, the hidden camera footage displaying the closeness between Emily and Mark for everyone to see. "Listen, gasps of disbelief echoed through the room as her colleagues stared at the screen, their jaws dropping in shock. Emily's face turned pale, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and guilt. She stuttered, attempting to form words that could somehow justify her actions. But it was too late. The room erupted in a chaotic mixture of whispers, gasps, and murmurs. Emily's carefully constructed facade had shattered, and the truth about her infidelity was laid bare. Her professional reputation and personal integrity were forever tarnished. As I walked out of the room, a whirlwind of emotions consumed me. I felt a strange combination of relief and heartache. The pain of the betrayal was still fresh, but the burden of carrying that secret had been lifted. The truth was out, and Emily could no longer hide from the consequences of her choices. In the aftermath of the confrontation, I made a decision that would further unravel the lives of those involved. I sought out Mark's wife, Lisa, driven by a need for solace and justice. She deserved to know the truth. Just as I did, Lisa was a woman who had been betrayed by her own husband, deceived by the same web of lies that had entangled me. It was a painful conversation, filled with tears and shared anguish. I revealed the truth about Mark and Emily's affair, laying bare the painful reality that had been kept hidden from her. The revelation shook Lisa's world to its core. The foundations of trust and love that she had built her life upon had crumbled beneath her feet. She faced the difficult task of deciding how to move forward, whether to salvage her marriage or to part ways with a man who had shattered her heart at the fallout from the affair. It extended beyond Mark and Emily's personal lives. It rippled through their families, their friends, and their professional networks. The betrayal had caused a wave of upheaval, exposing cracks in relationships that had once seemed unbreakable. As for me, I had made up my mind. I could no longer continue in a marriage tainted by lies and betrayal. I filed for divorce, determined to sever all ties with Emily and embark on a new chapter of my life. The divorce proceedings became a battleground where emotions ran high, and every decision felt like a personal attack. The division of assets became a source of contention as we fought tooth and nail to protect what we believed was rightfully ours. The once seemingly happy couple was now locked in a bitter legal battle, each side trying to claim victory in their own way. But amidst the chaos and animosity, there were moments of clarity. I realized that fighting over material possessions would only prolong the pain and delay the healing process. I had to shift my focus towards my own well-being and rebuilding my life from the ground up with the support of my friends and family who stood by my side unwaveringly. I started to rebuild my shattered sense of self. They became my pillars of strength, offering a listening ear, words of encouragement, and a reminder that I was not alone in this journey. Therapy became a vital part of my healing process. I sought professional guidance to navigate the complex emotions I was experiencing. It was through therapy that I began to unravel the layers of pain, betrayal, and self-doubt that had accumulated over time. I learned to forgive myself for not seeing the signs earlier and to accept that the choices of others were beyond my control. Slowly but surely, I started to regain my sense of self-worth. I focused on my career, pouring my energy into my work as a software engineer. The professional realm provided a refuge where I could channel my emotions into something productive, places immersing myself in different cultures and expanding my horizons. As time passed, the scars from the betrayal began to fade. They served as a reminder of the resilience I had developed and the lessons I had learned along the way. The pain transformed into wisdom, guiding me towards a path of self-acceptance and personal growth. And then one day, as if by fate, I stopped upon a new chapter in my life. I met a compassionate and understanding woman who mirrored the love and kindness that Sarah had shown me together. We embarked on a journey of mutual support, understanding, and the restoration of faith in love and trust. Foreign. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the themes of betrayal, revenge, and redemption, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more captivating stories. Remember, life can be a series of unexpected twists. Sometimes, it's how we respond to betrayal that defines us. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, may your choices lead you toward a path of justice and redemption.